Okay, Jeff Bland, here I am again. I got a new little thing with my techno-nerd behavior that you might be interested. You recall, some of you, that I did a video recently of my experience after getting my first Moderna vaccine and the impact that I could measure on my function, even though I didn't have symptoms after the immunization. My Oura ring, my little biometric device, showed some fairly significant changes, and it took about a day and a half for it to normalize. So I'm coming into now tomorrow to get my second vaccination, and I thought this would be interesting to see now that I have this experience, what the second one does and how I can pick up changes in my physiology. Now remember that our immune system is really energy hungry, and when we activate or rev up our immune system as a consequence of, say, having an infection, or in this case a challenge from a vaccination, then more of the energy of our bodies then funneled into our immune system. So the question is, how much does that disrupt our immune system, and what is our relative resilience as measured by kind of surrogate energy measures? And the Oura ring, as you know, measures a variety of kind of surrogate features. So last night or yesterday, my energy readiness score was 81. So they generally range between 80 and 90 depending upon the day. And my HRV, my heart rate variability, was optimal balance. So it was about, I think as I recall, about 35 with a max of about 90 yesterday. And then my exercise was good. I had a 90% score on my exercise. So I had a good overall readiness for yesterday as my baseline. Now I'm going to do a couple of other things just to show you how nerdy we can be, because we know that the activation of our immune system will also have impact on other functions. One of which could be our oxygen level or our response to exercise stress. So here we can use a pulse oximeter to evaluate our oxygen saturation. This is a little device that's just very inexpensive. So I'm just measuring it right now on the tip of my finger. So it will then tell me my pulse, and it will tell me my oxygen saturation here in a second. And that will then give me an indication of how able my blood is to carry oxygen to tissues where energy is going to be produced. And you probably recognize that if I exercise, I will increase my respiration, I'll demand more energy, and therefore my recovery time for my oxygenation can be measured with my pulse oximeter. So as it just said here, I think I just had there we go. So I have 98% oxygen saturation right now. And if I was to exercise vigorously by running in place for 3 minutes, and then I was to examine my oxygen saturation after 3 minutes, what I would find is that it would go down slightly, and then I could see how long it would take to recover in resting. So that would be kind of an exercise tolerance test. The other thing I can measure with my biometrics to see what impact immunization have would be, this is as you know, a respiratory spirometer device, very inexpensive one, by the way. So this measures your tidal volume of your lungs and your ability to force oxygen out of your lungs, which means it's an indirect measurement of your respiratory function. So I can look at this, and these little lines on here, green, yellow, and red, are the various places that you would want to be above red. So I take a deep breath, and then I see what and you'll notice that, good for me, my mark is above the green, right? So that means I had really good expiratory volume, and that's an indirect measurement of my respiratory function. So I will now be doing this after I have the vaccine. I'll measure this, and I will have my Oura ring score. And this laboratory will tell me how my immune system is sucking up and utilizing my energy. Interesting, hold tight.